Welcome to this hour of worship, this house of worship. May you feel welcome here and be held in the presence of the holy. May you find nourishment here to fill your deepest hungers. May you feel the warmth of this community surrounding you, holding you, healing you. May you reflect on the mystery that surrounds us and share blessings for the great mystery that lies ahead. The worship space created here is sacred. Let us see the sacred in each other. We are a community, a human family, worn and broken and healing and hoping. Bring all that you are and all that you love and rest a while. May we find peace in our presence here together. Welcome. And I forgot to say, I'm Erin Collier. You're a member of this congregation, the Unitarian Universalist Area Church at First Parish in Sherburne, and also your membership coordinator. Good morning, everyone.
Aaron, good morning, everybody. On this hardy snowing Sunday, our biggest storm since January of 2022, which was also a Sunday. Interesting thing that keeps happening, snowing on Sunday, as if we're all meant to go to work during the week, except for people who work in faith communities. My name is Reverend Nathan. I'm privileged to be your minister, and I have just a few announcements. One is to pick a chalice if you have one at home, or something that would approximate a chalice. Um, we had a bunch of things scheduled today that we're going to, had we been in person, that we're going to, switch around a little bit. One is that some version of Winterm, which is the last sort of special faith formation program we've been having. Some version of that will happen next Sunday. We're waiting for just a few more volunteers to confirm. Jamil Adams, who is our resident poet, who's been with us for many years on many Sundays, um, was, of course, planning to be with us today. And so now he's going to come on Sunday, February 8th, which is surely when, I hope this doesn't jinx things, later that day when the Patriots will play the Super Bowl. So make your schedules then to make sure to come be with us and Jamil. If you don't know who Jamil is, his contributions in worship, he does a like poetry slam. He and I do. It's wonderful. Um, and then the service today that we're going to be sharing today is informed by the work that our Unitarian Universalist Association has done to be in solidarity with those who are siding with love and seeking justice in Minneapolis this past week, and in Framingham and in Maine and beyond. It will include several stories from our Unitarian Universalist faith about how ordinary people, which is like you and me, show up in very different ways and in different contexts to live and express and practice our faith tradition. And last but not least, we have our spotlight, and I'm going to do my jingle. Dun, 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 dun! Our Sunday spotlight is our shared value of justice. And this is an easy way to share your love this week. You can support our immigrant neighbors to stand in community when it is this coming Tuesday, as it is every Tuesday from 8:30 to 10 a.m. I was out there last Tuesday with many of us. And how you join the standout at the ICE office, which is at 10 Speen Street in Framingham. You got to dress warm. It's going to be cold. Wear boots because they don't shovel the side of the street the protesters are on. Bring a sign or borrow somebody, like stand with somebody who has a great one, which is what I did with Marco Calto from last week. And you're going to park at Lifetime Athletic, which is just a kind of across the street, catty corner. As our team that puts these together described at the end, weep a little, but keep on working. I love that phrase. Thank you to them. So, friends, that's our Sunday spotlight for today. And I promise the regular jingle, barring another snowstorm, will be back. You'll be glad on next Sunday. So, with that, I invite us to wave to each other as we usually do. Sarah, or take away the slide, and just wave to each other. You can page through and see who's here. See some names we haven't seen in a long time. We got Kathleen Castellano's mom. We got Marianne, Betty, Valerie, Deb, Don and Kirsten. We got Cindy, Andrea, Don's iPad. Hey there, Stasia, of course, Deb Boyce, Catherine, Mike, Sarah, and Deb Ryder. Oh, so good to see you. Kathleen Gaffney and Chris, all the way down in Atlanta. We love you and miss you. Judy Peters, Mojgan, Gage, of course. Meeting Space One, which I think is Maria, got Amy and the Wisniewski family, and James Detweiler, Connie Seaman, who normally joins us online, but is here. We're all online this Sunday. We got our beloved president, Hank Roush, Linda, Kathleen Dinsmore, Alan, the Vaughn family, Amy Quigley, and so many others, you guys. This is one cool thing about Zoom is I get to see everybody who's here. Thank you, everybody. All right, Sarah, I'll stop yapping. You can play our intro.
Bright morning stars are rising. Bright morning stars are rising. Bright morning stars are rising. Day is a breaking in my soul. Oh, where are our dear parents? Oh, where are our dear parents? Oh, where are our dear parents? Day is a breaking in my soul. They are sowing seeds of gladness. They are sowing seeds of gladness. They are sowing seeds of gladness. Day is a breaking in my soul.
Please join us while you're remaining on mute, but join us in these opening words that are displayed on the screen. Our Unitarian Universalist faith has grown from seeds planted by our Unitarian and Universalist ancestors. From them, we have inherited a legacy of courage and compassion, finding new ways to live our values.
As Unitarian Universalists, our journey is to transform the big and the small, to transform ourselves and to transform the world. Universalism means no one is outside the circle of love, and no one is disposable.
We stubbornly seek out the spark of the divine in each other, no matter what. Interdependence means that none of us is truly free until we are all free, and our thriving is bound up in the earth's living.
We struggle for liberation from the violence of white supremacy, sexism, ableism, classism, and homophobia. Our covenants mean we make promises to our communities to honor love and justice above all else. Friends, I invite you now to join in our opening hymn, There's a River, which will appear with words on your screen.
There's a river flowing in my soul.
Ian Evans, our Minnesota intern, has that amazing chalice in his background. He will hold up a chalice for us as we say together our covenant. These words and this chalice are the heart and light of our faith. Let us say together, love is the spirit of this church, and its service is its law. This is our great covenant to dwell together in peace, to seek truth and love, and to help one another. We'll now have our doxology.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Stasia Crayons. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm your Faith Formation and Youth Ministry Coordinator. I'm very happy to be with you on this snowy day. To begin our first story, let's remember one of our beliefs. No one is outside of the circle of love, and no one is disposable. In September 1938, Nazi Germany invaded northern Czechoslovakia. Thousands of refugees, Jews and others fearing Nazi occupation, fled south, many ending up in Prague. In January 1939, the Reverend Waite Still Sharp and his wife Martha could have turned down the request from the American Unitarian Association to leave their children and home and head to Prague to aid persecuted people. An isolationist America was not yet at war and reluctant to open its doors to refugees. 17 others had declined the mission, but the Sharps said yes. Just weeks after their arrival in Czechoslovakia, the couple watched Hitler's troops march into Prague. They were shadowed by Gestapo agents. Their offices were ransacked, and they had to burn files to protect refugees' identities. The young couple narrowly escaped arrest by returning home in August. A year later, the Sharps returned to a second mission. They secured a trainload of condensed milk in great demand to feed refugee babies in southern France. Working with various aid networks, the Sharps rescued an estimated 125 people, Jews, political descendants, and others under threat as fascist armies spread across Europe. They also helped get food and other assistance to hundreds more in urgent need. And now let's take time to settle into prayer following our story, beginning with our prayer hymn.
Ubi caritas et amor, ubi caritas Deus ibidas, ubi caritas et amor, ubi caritas Deus ibidas, ubi caritas et amor, ubi caritas Deus est.
Friends, as is our custom, as we look out here on the slide of our sanctuary form, gosh, many years ago now, before we did our addition, We can see the back door, really the front door of our sanctuary, the light coming through, which is where we carry with us our prayers for beloveds and our prayers for the world, which is a constant need of our love and attention, and our gratitudes that so often get left out of our life and get overwhelmed by just all the tough news that constantly seems to stream over us. So, here in this time of prayer, as we all know, that I use the definition of prayer as a form of attention, as a form of focus that we would otherwise not give. I invite us first, and we can utilize our chat function for this if you have that readily available for you. Just to, first of all, share names of people that you're holding this morning, and I will do my best to say those aloud for us.
Nathan, the chat is disabled.
Well, that's not going to work for us, is it? I think it's open now. Or Jackson,
Again. Try it now. There you go.
or George, or Joan and Jan. Was afraid. Tom Glick, for Charles, who was in the ICU, and for Sam. And as these names continue to come in, I invite us to look outside our window if there's one near you and begin to think of the prayers that you're holding for the world. It's prayer for her Uncle Mamal and her Aunt Janice and her stepdad, who's Lou. His ongoing health problems. Just that no one outside the circle of love. She asks us to hold prayers for her community of care, the people of Iran, all immigrants, the unhoused, his health. Last but never least, everybody, please begin to think of gratitudes and put those in. Grateful for Mary Ann Sabetti, her leadership of Immigration Justice Forum yesterday, for grandchildren and puppies, indeed. Community, friends, family, and for hope and for nature. Old bird feeders. And hot chocolate for friends at EUAC who reached out to me during these difficult times. Such gratitude that we're able to gather in this way, certainly less than we would want, but it's good to be together in community, no matter what the forum, no matter what the platform. Let's just be held together in a moment of prayer. Dear God of many names and no names, Spirit of life that is at the center of life, help us to find our courage muscles in these times of forever fear, and near constant loss and tragedy in our public squares. Help us to think of what is our role, what is our work for all the people and the traditions that we are accountable to, in particular, our values of faith that remind us to keep love at the center. And when anger arises, to direct this anger in righteous ways and in healthy ways and in all ways. Help us always to continue to look for the light and the hope and the peace in the midst of it all. Let's be held here for several moments of stillness.
Hi, my name is Ian Evans. I'm your ministerial intern. at UUAC. And although I'm sad I can't be with you all in person this morning, it's so good to see all of you here. Our second story highlights another one of our UU beliefs that we make promises to honor love and justice above all else. By the mid 1940s, the strength of Nazi Germany had grown, taking severe tolls on human life throughout Europe. Not enough was being done to assist the thousands of people attempting to flee the danger of Nazi occupation. Inspired by Reverend Waitstill and Martha Sharp's courageous mission, the Unitarian Service Committee was established in 1940 to continue humanitarian service. Its commissioner was Reverend Charles Rind Joy. Lisbon was the only open port in Europe, and millions of refugees were pouring in. From his headquarters in Lisbon, Reverend Joy oversaw a secret network of couriers and agents helping to provide travel documents that would allow those refugees to escape to freedom. But the Unitarian Service Committee was an unknown organization at the time, and that put them at a disadvantage. Establishing trust across barriers of language, nationality, and faith could mean life instead of death. Joy needed an official symbol for the papers issued by the service committee. He wrote, quote, "When a document may keep a man out of jail, give him standing with governments and police, it is important that it look important." So he asked Hans Deutsch, an Austrian refugee artist, to create one. The result was essentially the flaming chalice as we know it now. And like our faith itself, the flaming chalice has evolved over time. The chalice, as a two-dimensional drawing, eventually transformed into the objects used in our worship services, thanks to our religious exploration programs. Curricula in the late 70s encouraged our children to make chalices with different media, and eventually those chalices morphed into physical objects that could be lit. The first documented uses of chalices in the main sanctuary are from Sundays on which the children and youth led worship and demonstrated their practice to the adult congregation.
Hi, everyone. I'm Deb Weiner. I'm your Transitional Director of Faith Formation and very glad to be with you on this snowy Sunday. We begin our third story by remembering that none of us is truly free until we are all free. In the 1800s, white Unitarians and Universalists had inconsistent responses to what we now recognize as the evil of slavery. The country's bitter divisions grew when the Fugitive Slave Act was passed in 1850. Some Unitarians and Universalists stayed on the sidelines, while others became avid abolitionists. Unitarian minister Reverend Theodore Parker was an abolitionist, a leading member of the Boston Vigilance Committee, an underground group that helped hundreds of enslaved people find freedom. In 1854, a 19-year-old enslaved person named Anthony Burns escaped from slavery in Virginia and fled to Boston, where he was arrested and held at the courthouse. A crowd of 5,000 assembled at Boston's Faneuil Hall, where Theodore Parker told them, "I love peace, but there is a means and there is an end. Liberty is the end, and sometimes peace is not the means toward it." Meanwhile, members of Boston's Black community were meeting nearby and rushed to the courthouse in an attempt to rescue Burns. Hundreds of white abolitionists ran from Faneuil Hall to help them. An estimated 2,000 anti-slavery protesters mobbed Court Square that Friday night and tried unsuccessfully to free Burns. The United States was built on a legacy of slavery, racism, and oppression that continues to take new, ever-changing forms. Today, 172 years after the Boston slave riot, Unitarian Universalists bear witness to the systemic devaluing of Black lives. We commit ourselves to dismantling systems of white supremacy, which is an institutionalized cultural pattern reaching far beyond any single incident or person. Let us pause now as we reflect on these stories, as we hear the music, More Waters Rising.
There are more waters rising, this I know, this I know. There are more waters rising, this I know. There are more waters rising, they will find their way to me. There are more waters rising, this I know, this I know. There are more waters rising, this I know. There are more fires burning, this I know, this I know. There are more fires burning, this I know. There are more fires burning, they will find their way to me. There are more fires burning, this I know, this I know. There are more fires burning, this I know.
Dum
Eo, eo, oh, eo.
daya 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 dum
Mountains falling, this I know, this I know. There are more mountains falling, this I know.
this I know.
More mountains falling, they will find their way to me. There are more mountains falling, this I know, this I know. There are more mountains falling, this I know. I will wade through the waters, this I know, this I know. I will wade through the waters, this I know. I will wade through the waters when they find their way to me. We will wade through the waters, this I know, this I know. We will wade through the waters, this I know.
I will walk through the fire, this I know, this I know. I will walk through the fire, this I know. I will walk through the fire when they find their way to me. I will walk through the fire, this I know, this I know. I will walk through the fire, this I know.
I will rebuild the mountains, this I know, this I know. I will rebuild the mountains, this I know.
I will rebuild the mountains when they find their way to me.
I will rebuild the mountains, this I know, this I know. I will rebuild the mountains, this I know.
In our final story today, we recognize yet again one of our values, which is that Deb already talked about, that none of us is truly free until we are all free. This is truly free until we are all free. Let's go back a little bit in time to March 7th, 1965. Alabama state troopers attacked 600 unarmed protesters as they walked across the Edmund Pettus Bridge outside of Selma in an attack that became known as Bloody Sunday. The following day, Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. called on clergy across the country to come to Selma and to witness the brutality and to bring national attention to the violence there. This is what he said. No American is without responsibility. The people of Selma will struggle on for the soul of the nation, but it is fitting that all America help to bear the burden. I therefore call on all clergy of all faiths of every part of the country to join me for a minister's march. And in this way, all America will testify to the fact that the struggle in Selma is for the survival of democracy everywhere in our land. Friends, do these words sound prescient and both timely to us? As you and I all know, the struggle for the survival of democracy continues today. Just this month, the Immigration and Customs Enforcement, better known for their acronym ICE, came in force to Minneapolis, this about 3 weeks ago, and St. Paul to conduct sweeping raids on Somali Americans and others. We have watched them on our smartphones and on our television screens and on our iPads terrorize the Twin Cities. And then when faced with nonviolent protesters and observers, they have responded with pepper spray and tear gas and indeed bullets. Renee Good, a beloved community member and mom, was murdered by ICE agents just a few weeks ago as she followed directions to leave an area where they were operating. And then just yesterday, when we were in the midst of our Immigration and Justice Forum at UAC, Alex Preddy, who is an ICU nurse for the Veterans Association, was also killed. This last week, and in response to all the violence that had been happening and still happening, faith leaders were once again called to Minneapolis to witness. So this week, I saw footage of all these colleagues of mine who I know and many other traditions from across the country went to Minneapolis to bear witness to the ongoing injustice. As our Unitarian Universalist Side with Love program described it, our faith calls us to affirm the inherent worth and dignity of every single person, to side with love and to work for justice. We go to places like Minneapolis when our neighbors are under siege, when moms are dying from fear, when ICU nurses are standing up for others and get shot on the ground. When these people live our principles, we know that our principles demand that we show up as well. We go to bear witness, to use our bodies and our covenant to say, not here and not in our name. So obviously not all of us or even some of us went to Minneapolis this week, but I do know that many of us were there yesterday to bear witness to the important work of our Immigration Justice Forum. And many of us have been showing up for weeks on end, either in Burlington, where there's a ICE facility, and of course at Speen Street. I know this because I've been there and I've seen so many of you there. And I know that many of you cannot make it on a Tuesday morning. I get that. And so others of you have decided to take kids to school whose parents won't risk going outside and others of you have donated resources, financially and otherwise, to the important work. The point is, there's all kinds of ways to put your body and your actions where your beliefs are. It's a reminder that no one of us is powerful enough to fight the oppressions that we are experiencing, but together we can respond powerfully. Some of us witnessing in person, others of us supporting at a distance, but all of us answering the call. I'd like to just invite us for a prayer here from my good colleague, Reverend Ali K.C. Bell, as we hold all these stories this morning. Spirit of love and justice, because we know these two must be held together if we are to get where we are going. We ask you to be with us now in a time when so much is changing. It's unimaginable. At times it's horrific, and it always seems to multiply by the day. Give us the strength not to turn away, but to lift our voices and to be where we can in our own bodies, to keep bending the moral arc toward thriving and toward equity and toward care for all of us. And help us examine and act on what we are learning, not only about the world, but also about ourselves, about how we shape or echo or amplify the noise of division. So help us turn our voices and our habits and our silence until what once divided us becomes a song of resistance. Settle us out of our minds and into our hearts so that we can release whatever keeps us disconnected from one another. We've heard the continued cry, how long? And we answer back, now and in the past and into the future, because justice does not take a break from tyranny. Fascism cannot change the face of compassion, and equity will not surrender to the false comfort of the inequitable. Help us remember, as Emily Dickinson wrote, that hope has feathers and that it takes wing, not because it is naive, but because it is present and active and alive. And let us rest not in complacency, but in truth, that we are survivors, we are thrivers, everybody, and we will not stop until our work is done. As we hold together our amen, we'll hear our song, Wake Now, My Senses.
Did they do a giving offertory thing?
Not yet.
Let the life I lead speak for me. Let the life I lead speak for me. When I come to the end of the road and I lay down my heavy load, let the life I lead
Friends, as we extinguish our chalice, let us remember these words from Reverend Elizabeth Wen. Unitarian Universalism is for those who have seen the arc bend towards justice, and those who doubt it will ever bend, but know that we must organize as if our lives depend on it anyway. Some theologies say that only some people are saved. From those theologies flows a world where people are criminalized for their identities, for being Muslim, transgender, Black, undocumented, and more.
So we resist any laws, policies, or practices that deny anyone their humanity. We know that now on earth is our chance to create heaven. We know that love crosses borders and prison walls, lives in queer families and disability justice organizers, thrives among trans young people and working class elders.
We extinguish this chalice with gratitude for our roots, the ancestors who taught us to be brave in creating a fair and loving world. And now the flame is ours, as is the work. We side with love, we work for justice, and we carry this flame forward. And please join me now in saying our call to ministry. We go forth into the world in peace, to act with works of love, to affirm each person's dignity, and to cherish the living earth. How true those words ring now. Thank you everyone for joining us today on Zoom. And I speak for myself, and I think I speak for everyone to say that we can't wait to see you in person next Sunday. So please, for this blizzard, stay warm, stay safe, be at peace. Amen. Thank you all.